Hello friends! My name is Shayla and today I am here to do a book review for you and discussion mostly. That book is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series if you don't include the novella bind-up called The Assassin's Blade. In this book we are well into the story, so this is going to be full of spoilers if you are not current on the Throne of Glass series. So this is your warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, then it's time to click off this video. If you don't mind, then stick around, or if you've read this, let's sit here and discuss what's going on. Okay, so first thing I want to discuss is how quick-paced this book was. Like, it didn't even feel that long, even though it was crazy long. Like, this is the longest book in the series by far, and the pacing in it was really, really quick. Now, something that a lot of people have been talking about is the plot holes within the story. I pretty much binge read the first 4 books in a pretty short amount of time, and then I read this one. And there are little plot holes to me, but not huge ones. There was a huge shift about halfway through the 3rd book in the series, and I personally love the direction the shift took. It made me enjoy the series a ton more than I was already enjoying it. The first 2 books felt a little too cliche, too tropey, and then about halfway through the 3rd book it kind of twisted everything on its head and went its own direction. And I really enjoy the progression in Sarah J. Maas's writing in this story, and I really think it was very well written. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the amount of ships in this book. Holy cow, it was ship city, as in relationship. And so let's tick these off and talk about them each individually. There's Rowan and Aelin, which I love their story. I have since I met Rowan, and I really, really enjoy the chemistry that they have together and the fact that they can work together as partners. That's something that's really hard to find in literature these days, that you find someone who's actually your partner. Another good example of a partner-like relationship is Vin and Elend from the Mistborn trilogy, the original Mistborn trilogy. They work as partners very, very well, and I think Rowan and Aelin also work together as partners very, very well. They finally had their big moment, and it was everything I wanted it to be, and the twister of the fact that they're married at the end of the book, I wasn't quite expecting that one. I knew they were going to have some sort of more formal commitment by the end of the series. I just didn't expect it to be when it was. I was devastated at the end of this book just hearing Rowan's heart just break when he realizes his wife is gone and he has to go and rescue her. It was just... it was everything. It was fantastic. Next up, let's talk about Dorian and Manon. Oh my gosh, this became canon. I am so freaking excited. Oh my goodness. I really wanted this to happen in this series. Dorian deserves to be happy. Manon deserves to be happy. And I love their snarky, sarcastic relationship together. It is absolutely fantastic. And I just live and breathe for it. And I really just enjoy their relationship and the way they banter back and forth. And I loved in this book, Manon specifically, I felt like she became this more human character. She stood up to her grandmother, and you know, we saw a little bit of that when she chose Abraxas, her humanity. And so to see that again in such a big way in this book was so rewarding. I really enjoy the character development that I've seen in Manon, and I really love that. And I also love how Dorian kind of has a backbone now. I mean, he still kind of sits in the wings because that's just Dorian's style, but he has a backbone and he's not afraid to use it, I guess. Let's take a minute and talk about Chaol, our poor sad Chaol, who was basically not in this book. You know, we all expect that epic return in book 6, and we know that he is off healing, trying to get better, and we also know that Aelin's been calling in favors. So I hope with all of my heart that that means we will see Chaol in the 6th book, because I did miss what he brings to the table in this book. And then let's talk about Aiden and Lysandra. For me, they fit together really well, but I wanted more time to marinate their relationship. I wanted more time. I mean, they haven't super rushed into anything at this point, But Aiden is very, I'm going to marry Lysandra, and it's just kind of a little too much too quick for me on that one. It felt a little more rushed than our other relationships that we're talking about here. Okay, we've also got Lorcan and Elide, which was the biggest surprise of this entire novel. I fell in love with Elide in the last couple of books, especially in Queen of Shadows. She is wonderful, and I really enjoy her. And Lorcan, I hated at the beginning of this book, but by the end, I was kind of a champion for Lorcan, sticking up for himself and sticking up to Maeve as much as he could, and that was absolutely fantastic to watch them grow and develop together. It was that slow burn. Oh, it was just fantastic. So that's pretty much relationship land in this book. So let's kind of move on to key points of the story. Aelin is locked in this casket by Maeve, and it's like, what the crap? Are you kidding me? This is what we have to start the 6th book? I am really nervous about where this is going to go. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Sarah J. Maas to kill off her main character by the end of the series, because that means it can't ever continue and it's really finally done. I mean, you could do spin-off series with other characters and how they cope with it afterwards, but that would be the end of Aelin/Celaena's story if she does that. So I won't be surprised if we see that, but I felt Aelin pull away from the rest of the group as I was reading the story. And by the end, you can see why. She already kind of knew her fate. You know, she's destined to die, and that's kind of a trope we see in YA fantasy, so I wasn't necessarily surprised by that, but all the other elements around it were quite surprising. So I enjoyed those surprise factors for sure. And I know with all of my heart that Sarah J. Maas knows exactly what she's doing, because she's really known for a long time. And so I'm really excited to see where all of this ends up. The biggest surprise to me was Manon standing up to her grandmother, and the fact that she just took a swipe at her. I mean, I know she fiercely protects her 13. Like, they are family to her more than her grandmother ever was. And the surprise of her being the Croaking Queen was awesome and fantastic, and I loved that aspect. Because now you've got all these people, these big key people, to bring this world back together. And the bad guys don't even realize that they're the key people that we need. So it's kind of awesome that way. I still hate everything that's going on in the villain change in perspective. With it being the Demon King now. The Valgervlag King, however you say it, instead of King Havillard. Because you spent 4 books hating this man, and all of a sudden he's like, I wasn't the bad guy, it's this guy, and it's just like, what? I'm still adjusting to that. I mean, I understand why they did that, and the fact that Maeve is part of that doesn't surprise me at all. She's always had it written all over her face that she just wants what she wants, and she's going to do whatever she has to get it. And I'm just so excited for the rest of this series. I'm excited for the conclusion. I wish I had it in my hands already. I might not like how it ends, but I need it. I just need to know how it ends. I did give this book 5 out of 5 stars. My enjoyment level while reading it was huge, and I just loved it. I even took it with me on my runaway weekend with my husband for our anniversary, because I just needed to read more and more and more. And I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and feelings on this book. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. And give this video a thumbs up if you missed Kale. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.